In a dimly lit hotel lobby, where shadows danced on peeling wallpaper, Malik stood alone, his camera bag slung over his shoulder. The old desk clerk's gnarled hands trembled as he handed over a tarnished key. "Room 6, he wheezed, his eyes darting nervously. "It's all we have left." Malik nodded, too exhausted from his unexpected detour to notice the clerk's unease. He was the only guest, but someone kept breathing in room 6. The floorboards creaked beneath Malik's feet as he made his way down the narrow hallway. The air felt thick, almost oppressive, as if the very walls were closing in around him. Room 6 loomed at the end of the corridor, its weathered door slightly ajar. Malik hesitated, his hand hovering over the doorknob. A chill ran down his spine as he heard it, a soft rhythmic sound coming from within. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Swallowing hard, Malik pushed the door open. The room was empty, save for a sagging bed and a dusty mirror. The breathing stopped. Leek chuckled nervously, chalking it up to his imagination and the stress of his broken-down car. He set his bag down and collapsed onto the bed, exhaustion overtaking him. Hours later, Malik jolted awake, his heart pounding. The room was pitch black, but the breathing had returned, louder now. It seemed to come from every corner, surrounding him. Malik fumbled for his phone, his hand shaking as he turned on the flashlight. The beam cut through the darkness, revealing nothing but peeling wallpaper and cobwebs. As Malik's eyes adjusted, he noticed something odd about the mirror. Its surface seemed to ripple, like water disturbed by an unseen force. He approached cautiously, his reflection warping and twisting as he drew near. The breathing grew louder, more labored. With a trembling hand, Malik reached out to touch the mirror's surface. His fingers sank into it, the glass giving way like quicksand. Panic seized him as he tried to pull back, but an unseen force gripped his arm, pulling him deeper. The room around him began to shift and warp, reality bending in impossible ways. The walls pulsed and bulged, keeping time with the now deafening sound of breathing. Malik screamed, but no sound escaped his lips. He was being pulled into the mirror, into a world of darkness and whispers. As he slipped through, he caught a glimpse of his reflection, but it wasn't him anymore. The face staring back was ancient, hollow-eyed, with a mouth stretched wide in a silent scream. The next morning, the old desk clerk shuffled to room 6, his arthritic hands clutching a master key, knocked tentatively, receiving no response. With a deep breath, he opened the door. The room was empty, the bed untouched. Malik's camera bag sat on the floor, a thin layer of dust already settling on it. The clerk's eyes were drawn to the mirror, its surface now smooth and unremarkable. He shuddered, quickly closing the door and shuffling away. Days passed, and Malik's car remained unclaimed in the hotel's small parking lot. Local authorities searched the area, but found no trace of the missing photographer. Rumors began to spread through the small town. Some said they heard strange noises coming from room 6 at night. Whispers, cries, and always the sound of breathing. Weeks turned to months, and the hotel fell into further disrepair. The old desk clerk passed away, taking the secrets of room 6 to his grave. But still, travelers would occasionally find themselves drawn to the crumbling building, seeking shelter from storms or breakdowns. And always, they would be given the key to room 6, the only room that seemed to remain intact, no matter how the rest of the hotel decayed. One stormy night, a young couple sought refuge in the abandoned hotel. They made their way to room 6, drawn by an inexplicable force. As they entered, the air grew thick and heavy. The mirror on the wall seemed to pulse with an otherworldly energy. As they approached, they saw not their own reflections, but the face of a man, his eyes wide with terror, his mouth open in a silent scream. Behind him, countless other faces pressed against the glass, all trapped in a world of endless darkness and eternal breathing. The couple fled, their screams echoing through the empty halls. But their story spread. Adding to the legend of room 6, urban explorers and thrill seekers began to seek out the hotel, drawn by the promise of supernatural encounters. Some returned with wild tales of whispers in the dark and faces in the mirror. Others never returned at all. As the years passed, the hotel became a focal point for paranormal researchers and ghost hunters. They brought their equipment, setting up cameras and audio recorders in room 6. But no matter how advanced their technology, they could never fully capture the horrors that lurked within. The breathing remained constant, a chilling soundtrack to the nightmares that unfolded in that small, unassuming room. Theories abounded about the true nature of Room 6. Some believed it to be a portal to another dimension, a place where lost souls were trapped for eternity.
Old.
Others saw it as a manifestation of collective fear, feeding off the terror of those who entered. But all agreed on one thing: Room 6 was alive, in some twisted, unnatural way. The hotel itself seemed to change, adapting to accommodate its growing legend. The walls stretched and shifted, creating new corridors that led nowhere. Staircases appeared and disappeared, leading explorers in endless circles. And always, at the heart of it all, was Room 6, a beating, breathing entity that hungered for new victims. Those who managed to escape spoke of visions that haunted them long after they left. They described a world beyond the mirror, a place of eternal twilight, where shadows moved with malevolent purpose. In their nightmares, they heard the breathing, sometimes soft and seductive, other times harsh and threatening, always calling them back to Room 6. Local authorities attempted to seal off the hotel, to put an end to the disappearances and the growing cult following. But their efforts were in vain. No matter how many boards they nailed over the doors and windows, people always found a way in. It was as if the hotel itself was inviting them, luring them towards their doom. As the legend of Room 6 grew, it began to seep into the collective unconscious of the town. Children whispered about it on playgrounds, daring each other to spend a night in the haunted hotel. Teenagers snuck in on dare nights, their bravado quickly fading as they felt the oppressive atmosphere of Room 6. Even those who had never set foot in the hotel found themselves dreaming of endless corridors and a mirror that breathed. Malik's story became intertwined with the legend, his face appearing in the nightmares of those who dared to enter Room 6. Some claimed to have seen him wandering the halls, his eyes hollow and his movements jerky, as if controlled by unseen strings. Others swore they heard his voice in the whispers that echoed through the hotel, begging for release or warning others to stay away. As the years passed, the hotel became a dark landmark, a place of pilgrimage for those seeking to confront their deepest fears. But for every thrill seeker who entered, there were those who understood the true danger that lurked within Room 6. They spoke in hushed tones of an ancient evil that had found a home in that small, unassuming space, an entity that fed on fear and trapped souls for its own twisted purposes. And still, the breathing continued. In the dead of night, when the wind howled and shadows danced, those who listened closely could hear it, the soft, steady rhythm of Room 6, alive and waiting for its next victim. Still watching? If you enjoy haunted stories like this one, drop a like and follow before your room starts breathing too.